Hey guys, welcome to the Titanium Vault. I'm your host, RJ Bates III, and today's episode is called Termination of Determination. Okay, as many of you know, I've talked about this several times over the last several episodes. We've started our new 2-day boot camp here at our office called the Titanium Crucible, where we're breaking down all of our systems, the processes that we built around those systems, how we analyze deals, pretty much anything that Titanium Investments does on the wholesaling side of things. We are showing you how to do that and replicate it within your own business. If you want to find out more about that, go to titaniumcrucible.com. That's not exactly what today's episode is about. It's about my analysis after hosting our first 2 Crucible events. Okay, so the way this works is after the Crucible, we do a debrief session with each one of the attendees, and we put together a specific business plan for their business and what they're going to do marketing wise, budget wise, manpower, staffing, everything moving forward. And then there's monthly accountability calls with those attendees, making sure they're staying on the right path, they're actually doing what they said they were going to do, and the plan's working, and whether or not we need to pivot or not. So we had the first event in March, and then we had our second event last week in April. And so we're now getting around where we've had 2 debrief sessions with all the attendees, and we had our first accountability session with the attendees in March. And I realized something. Listening to the attendees in the April session and as well as the March session, I heard such a determination in them that they were going to make this work for them. And they're super fired up. And they're so excited for this new plan and path that they have. But then I also heard a little bit of not downtrodden, but a little bit of fear, right? And this is where I came up with the title of the Termination of Determination from the people that attended in March. And the reason why is because time has elapsed. Reality has set in on the fact that, hey, this plan, as good as you thought it was, is going to require effort, action, getting over your fears that you already have. We're not showing or telling anybody here things that they don't already know. In reality, there's certain things as far as the marketing flow and deal analysis that maybe they've never thought of, or maybe they've never thought of it that specific way, right? But in the end, it's about the action that you're going to take, whether or not you're going to be determined enough to pull the trigger again on more data, more skip tracing, hiring another VA, keep going at it, even though maybe the results aren't necessarily exactly what you want on day 1 or day 2, or even in week 1 or week 2. This is a huge change. And so I wanted to touch base on this topic of what are some of the causes of termination of determination, and then what are some steps that you can take to avoid this, okay? I think the number 1 cause of this is the fear of it's just not going to work. More often than not, the reason why someone would attend an event like we're hosting is because they want to change in their business. If everything was peachy and just perfect within their business, then why would you invest money into learning new systems, new processes, and all of that? It would be unnecessary. Most of the people that attend the Crucible, they want a change in their business because they're not achieving whatever they were seeking when they became an entrepreneur. Most times it's some sort of freedom of time, financial freedom. That's why we become entrepreneurs. We want to control that aspect of our lives and have freedom, right? The reason why they're attending this is because they're not achieving that. And so they want to change so they can get those results, the desired effect of being an entrepreneur. That's what they're after. But the hardest part about making that change is not actually using the new system or actually using the marketing flow that we're saying. is changing your mindset on things. Understanding that when I say you've been spending $1,000 monthly on your budget, but you want to make $50,000 a month in revenue, that you're going to have to significantly increase your marketing budget. You're not taking enough action to receive the results that you want. And in all reality, if you were to take the action that I am putting into you and making you so determined that you're going to do once you leave the crucible, that you'll actually receive much higher results than you're after. You won't be making $50,000 a month. You could be making regular six-figure months. That's where I really want to take you. And they come out of this and you're fired up. It's just like any other event. I've attended countless amount of events, masterminds, speaking engagements, whatever you call it. And every time I come out of them, and I'm super pumped up. I'm determined to make the changes that I was seeking by going to that event. Now, whether or not you've attended an event or whatever it is, there's always that moment as an entrepreneur that you are very determined on, this is what I'm going to do. These are the goals that I'm going to achieve. You remember back to the episodes in December and January, there was a lot of episodes about the goals that you're going to set for yourself in 2021 and how are you going to achieve those goals. Well, now here we are, we're at the end of April, we're going into May. Where are you in those? Are you as determined to hit those goals, achieve the results that you desired? Here we are, basically at the midpoint of the year. Do you still have that determination? Are you still waking up just as fired up on April 28th, 2021 as you were January 1st, 2021? What caused that determination or termination of determination? It's a tricky title. I probably should have made it a little bit easier on myself. But I see this over and over and over again where it's like, yes, this is what I'm going to do and I can't wait to get there. But then you realize RJ's asking me to pull the trigger on another $2,000 in skip tracing. Of course I am. And the reason why is because I'm acting upon that. I'm doing the exact same thing I'm telling you to do. I'm using the same systems I'm telling you to do. You see it down on every single episode, scrolling down at the bottom. Half off your first month using batch leads, promo code titanium. Why? Because that's what we do. Every single day, we're pulling lists. We're skip tracing those lists. We're sending SMS. We're cold calling. We're sending RVMs. We're sending direct mail. And we're also running nationwide PPC campaigns. Every single day. That's how determined I am. I don't allow short-term results to impact my long-term goals. Think about that for a second. It's very easy to sit there and say, hey, I'm using batch dialer, but my connection rate's gone down. Maybe I should change the system. Maybe I should go use Call Tools or ZenCall or Mojo Dialer. Or maybe you should just internally look into, why is your connection rate gone down? Because at the end of the day, I'm going to promise you, it's not batch dialer. It probably has something to do with either where you're pulling your data, how you're cold calling, how many lines you're using in your dialer, or how often you're refreshing your phone numbers and whether or not they're showing up as spam or not. These kind of short-term results and things not working inside your business is one of the aspects that can cause that termination of determination. It makes you feel like I'm just wasting my money. I'm wasting my efforts. And in return, you start spending less money. You start taking less action and you start seeing worse results. When I see things in my business that I don't necessarily like what's happening, that's when we add fuel. We don't simmer down and go into a turtle shell. No, I am too determined to hit my results, to hit my goals. I don't forget what I wanted to do in December and January. This is when I think about it the most. I will not hit my goals. We have to do this. If we're not where we want to be, then we have to crank it up. We have to take even more massive action than we were previously taking. You have to shift your mindset to that level of determination at all times within your business. A frequent request of people is I want to get to the point within my business where I'm working myself out of every seat. Of course it is. That's the dream scenario, that your business is running fully without you being a part of anything that's going on. You're just overseeing everything. But what are you doing on a day-to-day basis to make that happen? Are you building out standard operating procedures for your team so you could delegate tasks in the future? Or are you just sitting down and constantly shopping for the next cheap skip tracing company or the next dialer that we're going to use? Or worried about the fact that, hey, I saw a post on Facebook that says texting is going to die. Is that what you're spending your time on? Or are you actually building out the processes around the systems that you have decided this is the system I'm going to use? I'm going to use batch leads. I'm going to use batch dialer. I'm going to use batch driven. And I'm dedicated to that. And now I'm going to build out my SOPs around that. And Titanium is going to have specific processes that we have built out around those systems. Is that where you are as far as determination within your business? Because if not, I'm asking you today to change that mindset and become that person. I can't keep beating it into you more than I have over the past several months. Stop searching for unicorns. Stop trying. Don't allow termination of determination come into your brain. You can't get fired up and say, this is what I'm going to do, and then 60 days later, be right back to where you were prior to when you became determined to make changes. Why did you invest in yourself? Why are you even kidding yourself and saying you want to make changes in your business and in your life? Do you actually want the freedom, or do you just want to be the person that sits there and says, I want freedom in my life? Because the reality is you have to earn the freedom. You have to take the action. It doesn't just come to you because you say it or you post about it on social media. You actually have to sit there and work your ass off every single day to earn that right to say, I have freedom. That is the type of determination that you have to have in every single aspect of your business so you can eventually delegate it to someone else, and then you can sit back and reap the rewards. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's quite possibly one of the greatest things that I've ever done by hosting these first 2 Titanium Crucibles. I know for a fact that the majority of them, their lives are changed forever, and they're going to achieve those results. But I do hear the fear creeping in during the debrief sessions and during the accountability calls. You're asking me to change a lot, RJ. You're asking me to go from 0 to 100 miles an hour. Absolutely I am. Because I know if I can do it, anyone can do it. And I'm not asking you to do anything that I'm not doing myself. So I'm absolutely asking each one of the attendees, go from 0 to 100. Pour as much fuel on that fire as possible. I want you to become an absolute machine, a marketing machine, a closing machine, how to analyze deals better than anyone in the country. You fully understand every single aspect of what you can do within single family real estate. I want you to understand that better than anyone, because that's how determined I want each one of our people to be. And I impose that on them. And I will not allow them to talk to me from a fear-based position and say, I don't know if I can do that, RJ. My question to you then is why did you pay me money? Because if you wanted someone to just pat you on the back and say, it's okay, you'll get the freedom someday, I'm not that guy. I'm the guy that says, no, you're going to have to do these steps, and it's the only way you're going to get there. So don't be the person that's listening to this today and say, I base things around fear and I allow my determination to be terminated. Don't be that person. That's all I got for you today. I hope this resonated with you. And I hope you really sit down and think about the words that I just spoke to you. And you allow the freedom that you desire to be a reality. Create your own reality moving forward. All right, guys. We'll see you all next week. Thank you so much.